game, we won't yield. Football, baseball, basketball, we're ready for it all. Send challenges to Justin, let the competition call. Like Phoenix from the ashes, we rise higher and higher to the flames of friendly fire. We'll become inspired, no matter the challenge or the war that we face.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Friendly Fire. My name is Justin Stevens, and we are back with you this time. It's opening day, guys. Major League Baseball opening day starts today, has started today, already been rolling today, and it looks like I screwed up, and we are recording this live instead of a pre-recording like we had planned. So my apologies to people that usually tune in for Saturday mornings, but all the same, all the better, because right now there's games being played live. We may as well talk about them live. I do have another guest on this week, as you can see next to me here. We're going to get to that in just a minute, but real quick, we're talking Major League Baseball. We're talking opening day. We're talking Red Sox, because our guest this week is actually a Red Sox fan. I couldn't find my really nice Red Sox hat that I have, but I got the next best thing. I got the old Paul Tuckett Red Sox here. And then, of course, rival fantasy football is available in Massachusetts, where my man Justin, the guest here, is from. So we're going to make sure we hit up some information on that as well. Just like every episode, we got to talk some about rival. As a matter of fact, let's start off with the commercial. For those that aren't already aware, Rival Fantasy is the newest evolution in fantasy sports. Rival's all-in-one fantasy platform has changed the fantasy sports landscape. From fantasy bingo, where you mark off boxes of achievements that your players accomplish on the field, to season-long and best ball leagues, to mock drafts and challenges, and more. They have the perfect user-friendly website and app for you. So send a challenge to your friend or send a challenge to your rival and tell them to put their money where their mouth is. But your first deposit of up to $200 will be matched, plus an additional $25 just for using that link, joinrival.com/titletribe. That's joinrival.com/titletribe. All right, so on from the sponsor here for now. I just wanted to throw out there, we're trying to remind everybody we do still need some more of those 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. Please make sure you follow us on Twitter. Hit those 5-star Apple reviews. We're going to be filling our Frankenstank Listener League really soon. The ultimate monster of a league. We've opened up about 50 more positions in that league. So those 5-star Apple reviews, you give us one that makes us blush or giggle a little bit, and we're probably going to give you a free entry into that $30 league. But now let me introduce our guest of the show, Justin Gonzalez. It is at Justin MLB. Pretty damn easy to remember that one, right? At Justin MLB. So we've got another Justin. Justin, thank you very much for coming on. I want you to kind of tell the people a little bit about yourself and how you became a Red Sox fan, and just where can we find your work?
So thanks for having me on, Justin. I really appreciate it. Always nice to talk to a fellow Justin about sports and baseball, and especially on opening day. Can't get better than this, man. But so actually, contrary to popular belief, I live in New Jersey, which is pretty crazy because you don't. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Diehard Red Sox fan. I've probably been a fan of the Red Sox. I kind of got into it a little later than, from birth, how a lot of other fans did, but about 10, 11 years old, and I haven't really looked back. And I've been through the good, through the bad, kind of had equal shares of that, in the last couple of decades. So, really excited to see to get baseball rolling off for another year here.
Well, fun story, and I've mentioned it a couple of times on the different shows, but I don't follow baseball, obviously, and my viewers know that, and that's kind of what makes this show a little bit fun and different. But when I was growing up, I was about probably 4 years old. My grandfather used to take me to Reds games a lot growing up.
Nice.
So the Cincinnati Reds is the team that I would go to the stadium and watch live. But I didn't realize back then at 4 years old that you're closer local games, because we lived closer to Cincinnati than any other city that had a team. Your closer local games were usually blacked out, so you had to go to the games to see them. So the games that I was watching on television would be the Red Sox a lot, and I thought it was the same team at 4 years old. So I
Yeah.
grew up as a Reds and Red Sox fan, and it wasn't until I got a little bit older that I realized it, and I had to make a decision. So, of course, I chose the Red Sox because you can see them on television on almost every night during the baseball season, and you can't just drive to Cincinnati and get quick, easy, cheap tickets to the Reds even back then.
Yeah.
So that's how I became a bit of a Red Sox fan. But unfortunately, I haven't watched since the I would say when they came back from 3-0 against the Yankees in that World Series. I wasn't able to
Wow.
watch it a lot because I was working
Yeah.
second shift then, and
Yeah.
but I was listening to it on the radio every night at work. So that was pretty wild. And then after that, my kids started getting to that point where they weren't as interested in baseball, and we started shifting to other sports. But pretty wild, man. So that's a
Yeah.
nice memory for the Red Sox fans, right?
Yeah, yeah. You've missed a lot since '04, man. A lot has happened. I
Yeah.
don't think we have enough tape today to go over to catch you up, but
All right. So again, we're going to talk more about all that a little bit later, but I do at least want to talk about opening day right now. It all started today. So in football, we call it kickoff. So what would you say? How did it all start? Like, what's the term you would use for that first play? Is it the opening pitch?
it'd be first pitch. Yeah, first pitch. Yeah. I mean, there's really nothing before a first pitch, unless if you want to say, the national anthem. That's pretty much it.
All right. So far today, have there been any big surprises or anything key for like fantasy baseball purposes that we need to watch out for that maybe you weren't expecting?
Um, Well, fantasy purposes, yes. Royce Lewis had a home run earlier in the I would probably say, I don't know, about a half hour ago, which I mean is kind of irrelevant if your audience is listening to this later on in the week, but and now he's injured and came out of the game. So that's probably a guy that you would have probably drafted in the first 3-4 rounds. So definitely concerning there. It is not that surprising, only because he hasn't really been able to stay healthy his entire career, his young career so far. But yeah, no, that's pretty much been the gist of the entire season so far, and everything else has pretty much been kind of status quo. Corbin Burns had a really awesome day today, 11 strikeouts. I don't think the game is over yet. But other than that, yeah, I mean, everything else has been pretty cool, pretty steady, I would say. So,
All right. And do we know yet if that injury is very serious or is it still too soon?
I haven't actually seen video of the injury happening. But I heard that it might be a hamstring injury. Which, yeah, I mean, it just sucks. You don't want to see that for anybody. But he might be out a couple weeks. I'm completely guessing. I'm not sure, but
Yeah. And then
hopefully he comes back soon.
Hamstrings and soft tissue injuries, even in any sport, are something that can linger
Yep.
through the rest of the season too. So
Absolutely.
yeah, that kind of sucks that it happened this early. All right. So even though I don't follow baseball, you don't have to not be following baseball to see the new rule changes over the last several years all over Twitter and people complaining about it. This is baseball. It's usually more of a traditional sport where they don't like a lot of change, but yet here we are in a world where they are making a lot of changes. The big one I want to talk about for this season is blocking the bag. This rule seems to me that it's kind of been a little ticky tack in a couple of occasions in the spring training games, preseason games, whatever you want to call it. And but I want to know what you think about the blocking the bag rule. If this is something that they should have put in place a long time ago, do you agree with it, disagree with it? And I don't know, what do you got?
I will say that I'm not that much of a fan. I mean, the most popular play to date, throughout spring training was the Lindor play. I don't know if you saw it or not by chance and by passing. There was an example of, Lindor, I believe it was a throw to second from, it was like a stolen base attempt, I want to say. And Lindor was literally, routine, catch the ball, put it down, try and tag the runner out. And the runner got called safe because he was literally blocking the bag. And I think that they're nitpicking at it. I understand at a play at home. I totally get it with the Buster Posey rule, and you really you're protecting the players. You don't want anybody to get hurt, and for the other plays though, it really really complicates the game to the point where like it's one of those things like I don't even think anybody asked for this. Honestly, like I don't understand it, but it's just going to be one of those things that baseball fans are just going to get used to, honestly, unfortunately.
Right on.
So
yeah, pardon the pun, but the rule just kind of hit you all out of left field, right?
yeah,
But
exactly.
what is it? So what about the rule is it? So like, is there any portion of the body at all? Like I get that your feet can't be hung over into the line of the bag. I understand all that. But what about like the glove? If they're reaching down to make a tag, like do they have to tag the player directly, or can that at least be in front of the bag?
That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure about the actual specifics of it, but just kind of putting logic, like my logic into play at least. I hope I'm right in saying this, but I want to say that if you have the ball and you're making an attempt to tag the runner, then you can pretty much put the glove wherever you want to. Again, I could be wrong, but I think this is more so to do with like, a body part and a leg standing in front of the bag, that sort of thing. I think it's a little more focused on that.
Makes sense. All right, we already have a question from the chat here. The infamous Uncle Steve wants to know if the Reds are already out of the playoff, or if they're already out of the playoff race. So, obviously he's a bit of a Cubs fan. So,
Yeah.
so obviously that's a satire question, but since we've got
Yeah.
a Cubs fan in the house here, so what do you think of their possibilities this season to try to win the division?
We're talking about the Reds
Cubs.
or the Cubs to what?
The Cubs. He's a Cubs fan. He was just.
Oh, I
making
got you. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. I mean, that they got Bellinger back. Justin Steele is going to be a horse for them. They have Pete Crow Armstrong. I think I don't know if he's starting the season up now or if he's going to get called up later. But they have a lot of promise. I think that they could definitely finish on top of that division 100%, so I think they have a fine team.
Do you have any Red Sox tattoos that you're allowed to show us on YouTube?
I do not. I don't have any Red Sox tattoos. I have other tattoos, but I don't have anything Red Sox.
All right. Well, hopefully by the end of the show, we've got you wanting a rival fantasy tattoo. How about that?
We'll see.
All right, so your Red Sox get to play the late game tonight. The I guess it would be considered prime time in football. I'm assuming they probably still call it prime time baseball or something like that. But and it looks like they're going up against what many people have dubbed to be kind of the wild card rivals of the Mariners on the road in Seattle. So who's getting the start tonight, first of all, and just how bad are they going to demolish the Mariners?
Well, I actually, sorry, Justin, I'm actually getting like something's playing right now on the side. Just give me 1 second here. Sorry about that.
I'll get it. It's probably just more baseball games.
No, okay. I had another tab open that was speaking in my ear. So we got Bayo is starting off tonight. He just after signing that extension, he's your opening day starter. Love to see it. I think he deserves it. And then Castillo is Luis Castillo is starting off for the Mariners as well. I mean, I really hope that the Red Sox get a win tonight. That'd be amazing. These West Coast trips Usually don't happen this early for any given team. It's nice to get it out of the way early. And I hope that they can start off with a win and kind of, set the tone. That'd be great. And we'll see how it goes. They just take one day at a time, and it's going to be entertaining baseball to say the least. So,
when do the Red Sox finally get to play a home game?
Oh, good question. Actually, I'm not 100% sure. So I know that their schedule coming up for the next 4 series is going to be they are away for the first 3 series at least. So it's Mariners, A's, and then they go to Anaheim to face Mike Trout and the Angels. And then their first game is April 9th against Baltimore.
Oh wow!
So yeah, that's going to be good baseball too, I think, for sure.
All right, so let's see. All right, what? Okay.
By the way,
go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just watching. Anthony Rizzo got hit on the hand before I was watching. It was about 10 minutes ago, but he's still in the game, so he looks like he's okay.
Yeah, he got 2 hands. He's good.
Yeah.
All right. So you told me earlier in this week that you're actually a fan of fantasy baseball as well. So where did that love begin when it comes to like fantasy sports in general? Like, how long have you been playing fantasy sports? And would you say that there's more or less fantasy sports love than there is actual sports love?
Well, I will say that it is a kind of. I'm just gonna kind of field your questions backwards here. The love kind of is different, right? So like I have a specific love to just sit down and watch any baseball game. You got a Pawtucket hat on. I could watch any AAA game, AA game, independent league game. It doesn't matter. And then I also love to kind of focus on the managerial side of it. So like being able to draft players and then make a roster, make a lineup. I think that I have found equal loves for both sides of it. I want to say, I had a bunch of friends that got me into fantasy, and I want to say that started like, oh man, I know you're a football guy. I want to say like my first few teams was like Peyton Manning on the Broncos. He had like that first game of the season where he had like 7 touchdowns or something like that. I think I was like a sophomore in college for that. So however long ago that was, that's when it kind of started. And then baseball followed that same year.
That'd probably be about 8 or 9 years ago.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
No.
So I've been probably doing this fantasy thing for almost a decade. That sounds about right to me.
Right on. All right. Well, the reason I asked that question is because we're obviously going to parlay now into our the rival portion of our show, which is a fantasy sports platform. Now, guys, unfortunately, I was unable to fill the Bestball League, the $5 Major League Baseball League here. I still had 3 more spots left. Couldn't find enough people to fill it. The great news is, though, now that the season has begun, they have weekly best ball leagues as well. You can play in a best ball MLB baseball league every single week, each and every week. If you can fill the league, then you can play it every single week, a whole new one. So if I go to the best ball tab up here and I click on MLB and make sure I'm sharing. Obviously, these are going to go away. That's been canceled because I couldn't fill it. I was able to fill this one. We drafted this one a couple of weeks ago. So I'm going to have you take a look, Justin, at this team if you don't mind, and kind of tell me how I did and tell me if I screwed up anything. Because like I said, I don't know the players as well. But I've got Xander Bogaerts. Can you read this?
Very well? I can see it. Yep.
Okay. So there's my infield right there.
Okay. All right. Wouldn't I? You were doing great up until Wander Franco, I would say.
Okay. So I see that it says out. Same with Tommy Edman. How long are they out? Is this like a season thing and I didn't know?
Well, I will say you haven't heard anything about Wander Franco?
I don't follow baseball.
Okay. I got you. Wander Franco got into, well, I'm just going to say he got in bad trouble with the law.
Is this one of those things where we just need to start it off with allegedly?
No, there's like a mountain of evidence
Oh, okay.
against
All
him.
right.
Yeah. No, it's really bad. Like he may never play baseball again. That's how
Oh,
bad it
wow.
is.
Okay.
It's
So,
really, really bad. Yeah. Um, I think he's going undrafted in most leagues. I want to say.
all right. And this
But
is a best ball league. So it looks like my only other shortstop on here is Tommy Edman.
okay.
Is he gonna help me out?
Yeah, I mean, he's a solid player. I have no problems with Tommy Edmond. I think yeah, I mean, I'm kind of a Tommy Edmond fan. I like him. If he could stay healthy, I think he could put up a pretty solid season for you for sure.
All right. Well, that wasn't exactly resounding, but it wasn't bad, so we'll take it.
No, yeah, definitely.
Aaron Judge, I heard he was a good player.
Very good. Very good. Top 5 player in the league for sure. Can't really go
He's one
wrong.
of those guys where, like, if I've seen highlights of him on ESPN, then he's probably a good player. So,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
all right. So enough of that. I do want to show everybody real quick. If I go back to my history, you can see right here with my fantasy bingo cards. I hit on NBA fantasy bingo on Monday night. Straight up and down here, I had some achievements. My point guard played for more than 35 minutes. That would have been Halliburton here. I had a point guard that had more than 10 assists. Um, I had a center that had more than 10 rebounds, a point guard that scored more than 25 points, and a power forward that had more than 5 assists. So I had a straight line bingo. So now I've won the fantasy football rival bingo cards, and I've won the NBA rival basketball cards. So now I've got to win the baseball. All right. So with that being said, since I've got you on the show, Justin, we're gonna play some bingo. What do you think?
Let's do it, man.
All right, so I'm gonna buy some bingo cards here. Now this is how you do it. I click on the fantasy bingo first, and at the bottom you click on buy cards. Guys, remember I don't know what it looks like on the app. I don't use the app because the app is really cool. It's really good. It's very user friendly, but I have a small screen and fat thumb, so I like to use the laptop here. So now I'm gonna click on create a new roster, and oh wait, that's NBA. That's NBA. Let's not do that. Major League Baseball. Forgot to hit the MLB tab. The prize pool for this bingo is up to $138. Remember, if nobody hits today, it rolls over to tomorrow's pot. So somebody must have hit it. Or no. Today's opening day. So of course that's why it's only $138. Duh. All right. So like it was over $1,000 that day that I hit the football, and it was only week 2. Of course, there were 3 other people that hit it, and I had to split it 4 ways, but it was still a nice payout. All right, so I'm going to buy some fantasy baseball cards or baseball bingo cards here. So we start off with 3 starting pitchers, 2 infielders, 2 outfielders, and then 2 utility guys. All right. So when I pull this up, it's only going to really show us the players that are still available for today. Once their games start, they're no longer available to be chosen. And then after tonight's game, the final game starts. Give it a little time, maybe an hour or so. It'll regenerate and repopulate for tomorrow's games, and you can play all over again. So out of these players right here, Justin, you're setting my lineup. All right, I don't know these guys, so if we hit big, we'll talk a little bit about a split here. But if we hit a little, I'm just gonna play it next week. All right.
Yeah, no
All right.
problem.
So who's my starting pitcher?
I would say out of these, the best one is probably going to be Zach Allen for sure.
All right. All right. So Arizona, Zach Gallen. I've got 2 more starting pitchers I can choose from, and I can go down the list too. If we got actually, it ends right here at Bello.
Yeah. Next, you're probably going to want Justin Steele.
All right.
For sure. Yep.
All right. Now, of all these starting pitchers left, before you tell me who it is, do you have anybody that stands out where you're thinking, I really want this guy? Or are they all just kind of pretty similar at this point?
I would say Castillo probably is head and shoulders above everyone else left available on the list. So I would go him third for sure.
All right. Excellent. So we have our starting pitchers lined up. Now we get 2 infielders.
Okay.
This list is obviously going to be a little bit longer. We start with Corey Sager here, and we just work our way down. Tell me if anybody pops up
Okay. Just
that you
you
would really
scroll
want
a
to.
little bit longer. I think I got out of 2. All right, yeah, you can go back up. So we're probably I kind of think we should go Seager here.
Okay.
Yep. And then for the next infielder, got to get a Red Sox player in there, man. Go ahead and pick Rafael Devers.
All right, you got it. All right, now 2 outfielders.
All right. Okay.
Start up here with Garcia, and we work our way down.
I think right off the bat, you're definitely going to want to pick Corbin Carroll for sure. So if you just scroll up, I think he's just keep going down a little bit. Yeah, right there. Yep.
All right.
And then one more, right? One more outfielder.
Yep.
Let's see. All right, you could go back up. I would go with Julio Rodriguez.
All right. Very good. Going against Boston tonight.
Hey, they're good players, you know.
Yeah. Well, we're still hoping that they fail, right? This is just fantasy.
Yeah, exactly. yeah.
Actually,
For
that's
sure.
what I love about Rival Bingo. They could fail and I could still win with them because sometimes it's bad achievements on there. Like in the NFL, if your kicker, sometimes if your kicker misses more than 2 field goals, you fill the space. So I haven't seen a whole lot of the Major League Baseball ones yet. They did run some bingo during the spring training games, but first of all, I don't even know baseball, much less want to bet on spring training games where players aren't all necessarily playing the whole games. So I haven't looked at a lot of the achievements, but I'm pretty sure they probably will fall right in line with the same thing. So
gotcha.
All right.
Okay.
So now where are we at? What did I
think
utility.
Yep.
2 utility, which for those of you that don't know baseball like myself, those are kind of like your flex positions in fantasy football.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So it starts up here at Simeon.
You know, Simeon's a great player, but he kind of starts out slow. Go with Jose Ramirez. I think he's down. You were just on him before you scrolled up. There you go, right there.
All right.
Yep. And then I kind of want to I want to mix it up a little bit. I kind of want to put in a personal player that I like. He's right there. He's like the 5th one down. Zach Geloff.
Okay.
Not a super flashy guy. You know, I think he was a rookie last year, but I just have a good feeling about him. He's one of my favorite players to watch this year. So let's go with him.
All right. So I clicked down here at the bottom that said buy bingo cards, and we're gonna buy 5 of these bad boys. They're only $1 a piece, guys. Bingo cards are only $1 a piece. You can play as many as you want. Obviously, the more you play, the more you win, and the more you play, the higher the pot is. So, so if you can get other people to play to help build that pot up, it helps increase your odds of winning. But actually, I did play. It looks like I did play one
in the middle of the season,
June of last year. So we can see what some of the achievements were. I didn't do too hot. Greater than 3 innings pitched and 1 steal and 1 hit by a right fielder. That's but we can see 1 reached on error. I don't know. Do you see any bad achievements on here?
Okay, so caught stealing. Yeah, 0 runs. So, like, that's the thing. So, okay, just a quick question because I'm not familiar with the bingo format here. When it says 1B, so that would be first base, that would be like your first baseman. If your first baseman had 0 runs scored, then you would hit that square, right?
Yes. Yeah. So,
okay. Gotcha.
0 runs scored, 0 runs. Yeah. So if my first baseman had 1 or more runs, then I don't get the square. And I had Freddie Freeman, and then and it doesn't look like any of my utility players were first baseman. So that means that particular game, Freddie Freeman scored a run.
Gotcha. Okay, because I was just confused. Like, there's the pitching aspect of it too, where actually there's no pitchers here, right?
Yes, I do have some pictures. I have.
We did. Yeah, that's right. We did pitchers before. Yeah, so that's what I was saying. I was just a little confused with 0 runs with pitchers, and that's a good one. But 0 runs for a first baseman, that's a bad one. So but yeah, no, that all makes sense. That all makes sense.
Or like if my right fielder had struck out more than 3 times, then I would have filled that.
Yeah.
more than 7 strikeouts as a starting pitcher. So so that's how the achievements work, and I only hit 2 of them
Cool.
that day. But we're gonna do better with this one. I can feel it.
Yeah.
So with
Hope
the
so.
oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying I hope you do better this time.
Yeah, right on. With the
Yeah.
NBA one that I just hit on Monday, I've only played a few times, so it's kinda beginner's luck with the NBA one. The NFL one that I hit was week 2 of the season, so that one was at the beginning of the season. So I'm feeling this, Justin. I feel like we got this one. Beginner's luck again, and we're gonna roll with it. Um,
Oh yeah.
that's really all I wanted to talk about with the but for the most part with the rival here. Don't forget you do have season long. You've got best ball. You have individual challenges where you can click on the MLB and skip through and maybe find a bet that somebody else has placed. Which it doesn't look like we have a lot of those, probably because many of the games have already started. Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know why that's showing here. I don't know why that popped up. Huh.
I like the
Anyway,
format. It's very clean. Everything looks really nice. I'm new to all of this, but everything looks really really cool here.
so you can see here, like I don't know why this screen just popped up here and I can't get rid of it, but you can see with the NBA one, Jason Tatum. Somebody said they're willing to bet $4 at Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is going to outscore Damian Lillard. I couldn't find any with MLB where somebody had bet on one side or the other. But if I want to take that bet, I can bet the $4. If I'm really confident that Damian Lillard's going to outscore him, then I could bet $10, and then I would only have a $4 bet in with this guy, but somebody else could bet me on the other 6 if they wanted to, or we could have 3 people betting on the same bet. So it's really cool on the challenges. But what I really like about the challenges is whenever your buddy is talking a lot of smack about how this player is going to outscore that player, and you were crazy for taking him or starting him that night, you can say, you know what, put your money where your mouth is. Because, you probably have those same kind of buddies that I do, Justin, where you show up to work the next day and you're like, man, I told you he was going to outscore him. And then he's like, oh, that bet doesn't count because he got he threw that interception. That wasn't on him. That wasn't his fault. That was on the other guy. I'm not paying you. That doesn't count. Well, you have to count it in this format because Rival doesn't look at it as what if. It's not about ifs
Yeah,
and buts.
yeah.
It's about what happened on the field. So, um,
It's really cool. Yeah, and I do have a lot of those kinds of friends. So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
all right. So, well, the good news is I don't think you guys can see that crazy screen that popped up on my computer like I can. So that's
I
nice.
don't. Yeah, I don't see anything. I saw the fantasy the screen that you were sharing. I didn't see anything crazy. So I think hopefully it was just you.
Right on. Steve said he's going to pick the same team. Right on, Steve. So that way, if we
Awesome.
win, we have to split it even more. So that. Oh, actually, no, because you're going to have a different bingo card than me. You'll have different achievements. So yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Pick the same team. That actually probably is what are the odds we're going to have the same bingo card? That would be insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, that probably helps our odds of getting a little extra money if we win.
Good luck, Steve.
All right. So just making sure that I've hit everything. I do want to remind everybody that you can hit up our Patreon, patreon.com/toilets titles. Our man Wicked has revamped the Patreon, and we are giving away a Bijan Robinson autographed jersey. I believe we cut that contest off on the 31st, and we're going to be doing the drawing for the winner on the Tuesday night flagship show, our normal weekly Tuesday night show. The winner is going to get that autographed Bijan Robinson jersey, but you can also buy extra entries and not even be a Patreon. If you are a Patreon at the MVP level, then you're automatically in for 1 entry. If you're at the Hall of Fame level, you're in for 2 entries automatically. But you can buy extra entries. $5 will get you 1 extra entry. $10 will get you 3 extra entries, and $20 get you 10 extra entries. All you got to do to enter those extra entries is send it to our PayPal. You can go to PayPal and send it to our username is our Gmail account, which is toiletstitles@gmail.com, where you can find this episode that's going to be dropped on there, and along with all of our other episodes and articles. I'm pretty excited about a article that Joe Clark, those you guys know who Joe is. Joe Clark and I are working together on kind of a tandem article that we're going to be putting out real soon on the draft needs for all 32 teams in the NFL. That's going to be a fun one. But you can check all that out at the website. The other way you can donate that money if you want to try to win that autographed jersey is the little comments section down at the bottom of this YouTube channel. You got that little dollar sign symbol, that little dollar emblem. If you donate at least the $5 or at least the 10 or at least the 20 and just type in there Bijan Robinson as your comment, then we'll make sure you get those extra entries put into that drawing as well. Yeah, and then of course our Gilded channel, which is something I got to talk to you about, Justin, because we do have a channel within our Gilded that's just specifically for baseball. Maybe you might be interested in that. We've got over 200 people in our Gilded chat that are constantly talking football and a little bit baseball. We have a few guys in the Gilded, in the Title Tribe, that do enjoy baseball as well. But I'm sure that they would appreciate a guy that actually knows what they're talking about. Anyway, Justin, I appreciate you coming on. I do want you to give the name of that show. I know you said that it's a new show and you're not taking it seriously, but most of the name of our show, our network, is Toilets to Titles.
Yeah.
It's not like most of our listeners take this stuff super seriously either.
Yeah.
So go ahead with it. What's the name of that show and where can they find it?
So I came out with a podcast the other night just to get my points across about the Red Sox, and the show is literally called, quote unquote, I don't know what to call this Red Sox podcast. You can find it everywhere. You can find it on Amazon, Spotify, Pandora, Apple Podcasts, literally pretty much everywhere that you listen to podcasts. I have the episode up on my X/Twitter profile, at Justin MLB. So you can check it out there. But yeah, I will see if I come out with new episodes or not. It might be a random thing. It might be a little more regular, and I'm just going to roll with it. So
I grew up less than a block away from a creek that is called Nameless Creek. So that's what kind of what that reminds me of.
It's kind of what I was going for. Yeah.
All right, man. Hey, I appreciate you coming on. We thank the viewers for tuning in. Make sure you guys are sending me the friend request on Rival once you join. It's joinrival.com/title tribe. Don't forget that first deposit of up to $200 will be matched, plus an additional $25 just for entering that link. Joinrival.com/title tribe. Justin, thanks again. Y'all enjoy the rest of opening day and go Red Sox.